But why this? Why the new era mindset?
You see, I was just fascinated. I was amazed when I saw the way people think today. Hey guys, welcome back to the New Era Mindset. Today I'm accompanied by my beautiful wife, Mariana. First, cheers, and thank you for doing this with me, babe.
Cheers.
So we're trying out this new thing where I'm gonna have my wife accompany me in some of these videos because her and I have some conversations sometimes that are, I feel like they're share worthy, and there might be something that we can either teach or something that maybe we can influence upon you in a good way, hopefully not in a bad way. But yeah, so let's just get to it, babe. The other day you said something that really made me it made me think a lot about a dream that I had, which I haven't talked to you about because I wanted to wait until we made the video. I know I've been wanting to make this video because I really want to talk to you about it, especially after you said this thing to me. So the other day you said that in a sense you feel that we're all connected, or do you kind of feel like you know for a fact that we are connected somehow? Like,
I don't know, but I feel like it.
So you don't know for sure, but you feel like
Yeah, I
we
feel
are.
like we're all connected.
Yeah, I feel like it's kind of tough to know something like that, whether it's a fact. Like, I think many other people might feel that we are connected, but they don't know for a fact that we are. Personally, I do feel like we are connected as well. Now, again, I can't prove that, but I really feel like we are, and in a way that kind of scares me.
Yeah, a little.
It scares me, especially after I had this dream. Okay, and now I'm going to talk to you about it, finally. So, in this dream that I had, it involves the government. And in this dream, I don't know if it became something where the whole world is governed by one government, and it's all for one purpose. And but just to make it simple, we're gonna just pretend, or just gonna assume that it was all happening in this country. I'm not shaming this country. I'm not saying anything bad about this country. This is just a dream I had, but I can't know for a fact whether in my dream it was something that was happening to the entire world or just here. So yeah, in my dream, everybody was connected somehow, and nobody could understand. Like, again, people felt like they were connected. People, had you feel like we're connected, and other people did as well, but you never know for a fact. Well, in this dream, it became evident, and it became really obvious at one point that we were connected. And not only that, but we we were all connected for one purpose. And that purpose is what scares me, because I don't know what happens after that. So in this dream, the government started to chase everyone, and like people from the government, whether it was like they were all in black, wearing all black, and there were women involved, there were men involved, and they were all trying to gather up everyone. And they had built these huge cylinder-like buildings, but not cylinder standing up, cylinder-like laying down. And when you go in these buildings, everything is actually cylinder. Like, the whole thing, you look long, and it's like really, really long, and it's all in a shape of cylinder, even inside. And there are pads, like millions of pads, kind of like those curved phones,
Or
like a curved
tablets
TV,
kind of things.
yeah.
Okay.
And you would lay on those. right? And when you lay on those, you can hear everybody else's thoughts, everybody else's what they're saying, what in their head, and everything, everybody's. But there were 2 of these buildings. You know how a lot of the times you hear people speak about the left versus the right and that kind of a deal, whether it's in politics or that kind of stuff. So
Okay, I guess like good and bad. That's what you mean.
I don't know whether it's good and bad, but it's just the people on the left side don't agree with the people on the right side, and I don't fully understand that either, because it's more like about people's beliefs and that kind of stuff. Sometimes it involves it just there's a lot involved when they are saying this. But anyways, in this scenario, one building was for the people on the left and one building was for the people on the right, and when they started chasing everybody, and in order for you to go into these buildings and do that, you had to get shot with 2 you had to get 2 shots. But nobody wanted to do this because they knew that once we do that, we're pretty much trapped.
Yeah, to either A or B.
Yes, and you don't have a choice. You can't, there's no middle ground. There's no, like, no, you either have to pick one or we assign you to one. That was the deal. It's weird. So everybody started running around. Everybody is just going crazy. No, like, don't running, getting their kids and everything. Anyways, we started running away, but then they got me, and I had Naomi, our baby, and you were running with Romeo and Araceli. And when they got me, they got Naomi too, and they gave us both shots. And those shots are what are needed in order so you can connect to these tablets that you would lay on those buildings. Mm-hmm. And so when they got me, you got mad. You got mad because you thought I did it on purpose.
Oh, okay.
You thought that I made myself get caught on purpose so that I can explore more about this and that because of
sounds like you.
Whatever.
Even in your dream.
Anyways, so they got us, but then because they got me, I was trying to protect you because I didn't care anymore if they got me anymore, right? Mm-hmm. And I can't even remember what side they assigned me to, but they ended up getting all of us.
Like our family.
Everyone, yes. And when they got us, you don't live in these buildings and you don't stay in these buildings forever. And it was weird because somehow, like if you look up, there are people in the ceiling because it's circular. It's like a cylinder, but like, it's like gravity is weird in these buildings. You could just walk as a cylinder all the way up. Like you can walk along the cylinder all the way up, and you don't fall. Nothing. Like it's like but it's weird because the building is not spinning either to kind of simulate to simulate the gravity like on Earth, right? But you're able to walk and like so there's these bed-like tablets all
also
around, and each tablet is assigned to one person, which it connects with the shots that they gave you. And now with those shots, you like it because they instead of like putting a chip on you and whatever, you can't remove it. It's in your blood now. It's going through your bloodstream, and now you're a part of it forever. Well, like I told you, everybody knows what you are thinking. Everybody knows everything. So even when you step out of it, you already know what that person is like. So if you don't want to talk to that person, you don't talk to that person because you know they're a piece of shit or whatever it may be. But for a certain amount of time every day, you have to go back to that building, to that same spot, right? I don't remember the repercussions of what happens if you don't go, but like you just have to go. Mm-hmm. Everybody, the people on the left and the people on the right, go to their designated spots. So as the dream goes and goes on, I started to uncover that what this all was for. So we were all connected even before the buildings.
Yeah.
But with the when we started going in through this process where we are going to those buildings every day and for a certain amount of time, so what was going on is really that we're all connected now, but our thoughts and our
You're more
energy
aware?
and everything, no, you're not more aware. You're aware of what kind of people are around you, but you know, through all this, what's really happening is that these tablets or beds that are like tablets that you're laying down on take your energy, your mind, your thoughts, everything. It's processed, you know, through the tablets, and it's all connected to this higher mind. And we're empowering this mind with all the knowledge, all the wellness, all the things that we know, and like our energy and everything is all going to this higher mind. And the idea behind this is that we were all prepared up until that day, so that day we combine everybody in one spot, and we finally we complete this higher mind, this machine, this God thing that we don't even know what it's going to be for, except for the government only knows what that machine is going to do, whether what's going to do to the universe or what it's going to do to the humans.
You give me chills. That's fucking creepy.
And that's a dream that I had that night. And when you told me that, in a sense, you feel like we're all connected, I feel like that too. And in my dream, it's like we are all connected. Very, like we're connected in a way that we can't understand. But when that happens, it finally becomes obvious why we're all connected.
Like
And
I said, you were more aware of it.
Yeah, and you're just, basically you were just being prepared and being, you know, like the reason we're connected is so that when that happens, it's easier for us to connect all our minds into one and throw it all to this God. Mm-hmm. And we have no clue what's going to happen after this God is complete. You know what I mean? And that's the dream I had, though. And it creeped me out. And I felt like it was interesting enough to make a video about it, interesting enough to talk to you about it on this video. But yeah, what do you think?
That is fucking crazy.
Yeah.
It's a message.
It's a message.
It's a fucking message.
It's a message.
Don't
But like
trust.
the thing is, we don't know what you know. It'd be crazy if that actually happened in real life one day. Imagine like a few years from now when technology is advanced to the point where they can make a building where you can walk in the ceiling like it's, you know, regular gravity and you don't fall. The building is not spinning. It's not doing anything. It's just a regular building, but it allows you to. Imagine when the technology is to that point and something like that starts to happen. That's gonna be weird.
It's freaking crazy.
Yeah. After that dream, I started thinking a lot about the fact that I feel like we are connected in a way. But it's hard to know whether the fact that we're connected is a good thing or a bad thing. It just creeps me out sometimes because of the dream. And now every time that I think about the fact that we're connected,
That's what makes you think it can be bad, though, right?
it makes me think that what if this thing that we are trying to create is something that, I mean, it's hard to take a guess, you know? Mm-hmm. But yeah, and I think what may have triggered a dream like that also could be the fact that before we went to bed, we were talking about these deep things, or, you know.
Yeah, but you weren't watching anything, were you?
No, I wasn't watching anything, but you know how I am when we're talking about something, or whatever it may be, like I always try to peel an extra layer to see what's under that and see what's under that and go a little deeper. And so maybe my mind was just still trying to process the stuff that we were talking about, and I went to bed with those thoughts and poof, had a creepy dream.
Fucking creepy.
Yeah. How are you feeling during these, and this is kind of gonna change the subject, but like we've been going through some tough times, you know, and things like that. But how do you feel?
Like us or the world? What do you mean? Who's
I guess
going
our
through tough
personal
stuff?
experience right now.
Our life?
Yeah.
Okay.
How do you like? Because we've been going through tough times, whether it's in our businesses or, like whatever it may be. But what's, I guess a better question is, what's something that helps you get through all these hard times?
What's something that helps me?
Yeah.
I don't know, journaling. I don't like to talk to people. I don't like to talk to people, so the only way for me to be able to get stuff out is journaling. It's not that I don't like to talk to people, it's just sometimes I rather just be alone.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like people don't quite understand how you're feeling, and I just rather just save myself and not, you know.
You're your own therapist.
I'm my own therapist. My journal is my therapist.
I think that could probably help a lot of people, because there are many people that are like you, are introverted, where they don't like to socialize too much.
Even
if
for
you
social
don't-
people, though.
Yeah.
That would be helpful.
Yeah, it could definitely be helpful, but I mean, like, because, like, for example, sometimes people go through something that's really difficult, but they are either too embarrassed or too shy, or they just plainly don't like speaking to other people about their personal issues. And I feel like having that journal like you do, it could be something that really helps people like that, especially, you know, because they have their own little thing that they could do. As to where somebody who's extroverted can easily just go to a therapist and talk to them.
I guess.
Does that make sense? But yeah, I've been trying to get into journaling, but especially with what we're getting into right now, I might have to do it at least maybe like 3 times a week, 4 times a week, depending on what my schedule allows me to do. You know, because I would like to do it in the morning where the mind is fresh. You're just waking up and yeah. So I'm gonna try to start doing that, because sometimes I have a lot of thoughts going through my head that I think it would be a good idea if I write them down. Sometimes those thoughts are actually like they could be ideas for a business, or they could be ideas for a product, or they could be something. So I feel like I need to take up on journaling.
You do.
Yeah. What maybe we'll save that question for another day. When we'll just save it for another day, because I don't know if you're ready to talk about that yet or not.
Okay.
So I'll talk to you about that on your own time.
Okay.
But yeah. What made you realize, or what's something that made you realize that there's a lot more to life than living a regular life, like a regular person, where you don't want to go to work for somebody. You know, you could do some actual meaningful thing that could help other people as well, and not just to make money. And on top of that, it could be something that's, you know, bigger than what anybody in your family has done before. I know for a fact that the things that I'm trying to do, my family, I mean, I don't know that they've ever tried to do something like this.
Okay, so what was the question though?
Oh.
You getting...
So, what is something that made you realize that you can do more in life than the average person?
Seeing everyone around me.
Seeing everyone around you?
Yeah.
So it's a kind of...
So like, again, the thing, like what I told you, I don't like to be around people. Like, I have friends.
Yeah.
I can have friends. I can be social, right?
Mm-hmm.
But for the most part, I just don't like to be around people, and I like to be to myself. I've tried going to jobs. I've tried it 2-3 different jobs. And I don't like them. I just don't like them. I don't know if it was because of they all had to do with food like a restaurant kind of.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was because of that, but I just don't like them. I just don't like them. And then also seeing the people around me just doing the same thing every day. And this I realized that when I was in high school. Because I would see, like, my friends would come to me, oh, school, out to help my mom with her job and do this and that, and then repeat the same kind of cycle. But I was like, okay, cool, but like nothing that everybody else would do interested me.
Yeah.
But I knew, like, since I was young, I knew I wanted to help. I wanted to give and help people feel better. Like, that's why I wanted to be a nurse.
Yeah.
Or I wanted to be a doctor, then I was like, okay, I'll just be a nurse. Okay, I'll be a cosmetologist. But the cosmetologist one, I chose it because I would do older women, well, all ages, right? And then the idea of them looking in the mirror afterwards and being like, like
feel good about themselves.
Yeah. Like that, like, just makes me happy.
Right.
So I just like to make people happy. I like to give help wherever I can. But also, I don't know. I don't like to be around people all the time.
Well, I mean...
But yeah, I just want to give. That's why, I guess you can say.
And you realize that having a regular job
it's not going to do it.
Yeah.
For the kind of gifts I want to give.
Yeah, and there you know, there are certain ways that you can contribute to places where you don't necessarily have to give money, or you don't necessarily have to
volunteer for your time.
Yeah, I guess sometimes when you talk to somebody about this, they'll be like, "Well, you don't need money to give," and I understand that, but don't you feel like you can give a lot more if you have money than what you can if you don't have the money?
For what you want to do, like, some people want to just be able to, like, oh, they see a person asking for food, here you go, some food. Some people might want to volunteer some of their time at a homeless shelter, or as a lunch lady giving food or something to the homeless.
Right.
But there's other people that are like, I'm going to build an orphanage. Or there's people that I want to build homes for the homeless. Yeah, those are my kind of gifts.
Right, and you need the money for that. Like, it's not like you're trying to help out one family eat tonight. It's more like
I'm not saying they're not bad, though. They're still good.
Right, it's still good, but your kind of giving is going to require more capital than, you know, just feeding a family for a night. It's more like you're trying to feed 1 million families.
Yeah, I do what I can now. Like, I still do. I still give, but I want to be able to give so much more.
Yeah, and for that, you need to grow in the business, grow in, you know, in the finances and all that stuff. I find it silly when people try to tell you that you don't need to be, or you don't need to have this much money in order to give and stuff. And when you try to explain to them that the thing is, I'm not just trying to help one family, I'm not just trying to, you know, feed some families, I'm trying to give them a building where they can come, they can shower, they can send their, you know, they can start working and use this address, they can you know, like, actually have a place where they are there temporarily, and just kind of prepare them to go out there and try again in life. You know what I mean?
I guess, for example, you can be like, not everybody cries when they walk past a homeless person.
Right.
You can walk by them, not even look at them, or just be like, or some people are like, oh, I just in their heads like, I wish I can give you something at least, but I don't have much myself. Or there's people that give, that are able to give, or there's people like me that I walk past the homeless person and I cry. Yeah.
And it's also hard, like, for example, sometimes for some people, like, you might help, the way you help is maybe when there's a homeless person on the freeway exit, you give that homeless person, what, you know, $3 to $5 or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But then you see another homeless person on the, you know, just down the street on the, you know, the stoplight or whatever, and like you already gave the $3 that you have, so you can't help that other person anymore. But what if you know, that's where it comes, like, how can I make more money so that now I don't help just one, I help two, and then how can I make more money so that I don't just help two, but I help four, I help five, I help six, I help 100, 1,000, whatever it may be, you know. But there's always that limiting factor, I feel like, when you don't have enough. You know what I mean? Especially for somebody who wants to give more than just a couple bucks.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So essentially what got you into, you know, trying to do more is the fact that you knew that you realized that you can't help as much as you want to with a regular job.
Regular jobs aren't just not for me, so.
Yeah. I'm gonna pause it here and I'm gonna restart it.
Mm-hmm. Is the window open?
No, it's closed.
Oh,
Would you like a little more wine?
I got something.
Mm-hmm. One of the things that made me realize, and in fact, everybody says this, and I used to say it, like, you know, shit like, thank God it's Friday, or like, dude, I'm so happy it's Friday, finally, you know, it's the weekend's here, get to hang out and chill and whatever, right? One of the things that made me want and made me desire and made me realize that there has to be more to life than just living a regular life is when I started to realize that everybody, like, you hear so many people in the workplace say this and, you know, say, dude, thank God it's Friday, or hell yeah, it's Friday, you know, and this, you know, something along the lines of that. And I when I started to think about that, I was like, well, in 2 days it's gonna be Monday again. And then 5 days after, or 4 days after, it's gonna be Friday again, and you're gonna be the same, and then cycle. And you're gonna say the same thing that Friday, and then the following Friday, and then the following Friday, and it always comes back to, yeah, you get 2 days of rest and you might enjoy those 2 days, but then at the end of the day, you have to go back to this job on Monday where you're hoping that where you're wishing that it was already Friday, you know? And so I realized that sometimes people get caught in this routine, you know? And this is where I realized that maybe people don't need to necessarily, you know, build businesses, not everybody, at least. But at least have something that where you can shift your routine, where maybe after work you don't go back home right away, or maybe you do go home, but you shower and you go and do something that you do like, you know, to switch up your routine and kind of start having that feeling of meaning, and
just be free, do what you love.
Exactly. Right? But obviously not everybody is able to, you know, make money doing what they love, whether it may be, because I feel like, you know, probably almost everybody can, but they just don't have the mind for it.
They don't make right decisions with money.
And so, but at least have some stuff. Like, if you hate the things that you're doing, we'll figure out what are the things you hate about it, or what are the things that you don't like about it. Try to add some stuff that you do like, so you can, it's kind of like adding a little bit of spice to your life, you know, per se. And I realized that the worst thing about having a job is that routine that you're set to. And when you start to switch up your routine, then your life starts to get more interesting. Mm-hmm. You know, so it's not so much the job that you have, but the fact that it's so repetitive. Like, every single time doing the same exact freaking thing every day is exhausting. At least, you know, when I realized that there's more to life, I realized that the thing I really hate is the routine, the repetitiveness. I didn't like that.
It's depressing.
It is, and I started. In fact, I started to when I realized that there's a lot more that I can do. I started to feel a little bit like upset with myself in a way, but I did start to feel sad, and I felt like if I don't do something quick, I could get into depression. I felt that when my mind barely like something just cracked it open, and I just kind of had a peek of what's really out there. I started to get sad because I realized that I'm not living the life that I want to live. You know, and I didn't like the way that felt.
Yeah.
And if you like, when I feel like when you open your mind, you need to not just take a sneak peek, because that could make you depressed at the fact that you can see what's out there, what's really out there with that peak, but you're in this life that you don't like, and now it's obvious to you.
Yeah, that fucking sucks.
Yeah. So when something cracks your mind open, you need to just fully open it and start doing shit, because if you don't start to act on it quick, that's when you start getting depressed, and that's what was happening to me. You know, so I started to feed my mind with these new ideas, these, you know, listening to new kind of content and that kind of stuff. To now, like I tell you, when you just get that crack, you need to fully open it, so you get a full feel of what you can really do.
Yeah.
You know, and start working towards that. I'm really happy that you took the jump into doing what you're working on now. By the way, I see you excited. I'm really happy about it. How are you feeling about that?
Good, because I regretted doing. I mean, I just turned 24, so
We have a long time.
I'm only 24, and when I was younger, I feel like I messed up a lot of opportunities I could have taken. I regret so many things now, and I'm only 24.
Yeah.
There's so many things that I'm like, fuck, why didn't I do that? Why didn't I take this opportunity?
Yeah.
And the last one was in 2017, when I was writing in my journal all the time, and it was just ideas about a makeup brand that I wanted to launch. Remember that?
Yeah.
And I started to contact people, but then I gave up on it. And that's when we started with the clothes. I was like, oh, I'll do clothes because it's easier, right? They're not gonna reject me or whatever.
So you didn't do it so much because you love fashion.
No, I like fashion, I do, but I tried to put excuses like, oh, that didn't work, so I guess I like clothes. I tried to push myself onto it and forced kind of somewhat myself to like it.
You didn't love it enough to own a business, though.
But since that thing, like, nobody was coming back to me with anything, I was like, it's just probably not meant for me, so I gave up on it. And then it failed.
The makeup?
Because I was not...
Or the store?
The store, the clothing store.
The clothing store? Okay.
Because it failed because I just wasn't happy. Well, I didn't work for it. I didn't work, honestly, like I do now.
Yeah,
I never put time for it.
You didn't put as much work.
Yeah.
You didn't put as much work into the clothing store as I see you now. I can beep it out if you want me to. But we don't want to give that out yet. But with this, I see you much more excited doing that, and I think that's important. It's important to especially when you're trying to build a business, it's important that you build it around something that you actually enjoy, because on top of the fact that at the beginning it could be years before it starts making money, and you need to be able to put enough work throughout those years and not be angry about it because you're not making as many sales as you want to make, but you know every day you're still happy that you're going to that store. You're going to be posting the things that you're posting. You're going to be, you know, creating the things that you're creating for the store and whatever it may be, just because you love it, and eventually it'll get traction and it'll start making sales and all that stuff. But in the meantime, you need to make sure that at least you love what you're doing, because that's kind of the drive. Initially, that's the drive. Not so much the sales, but you're doing something that you enjoy.
Yeah, and the bigger picture too. Nobody knows about it because I don't tell people about it, right? But, well, you do, you know.
Yeah.
But the bigger picture behind this is what I want to do. What this store is going to take us to be able to do.
Yeah. Right.
And the people that are part of it too are going to be able to help so many. So
yeah,
that's what pushes me, the bigger picture, and the fact that I love cosmetics, anything that has to do with it.
All right. Yeah. That's, and I can see that, and I know that you're not just saying this and that kind of stuff, because like you can, like I can physically see the difference between like when we had the store with the clothes going on, and then now that you've made the switch into the cosmetics industry, I can see your excitement. I can see like I really see a different kind of spark, you know, on you, and that means a lot, because like I tell you, it could be years, and I don't think people realize that. And that's when, like, what do you think happens to nearly everybody that gets into a business that they don't really enjoy? You know, like you, like, what do you think happens to them?
They fail, obviously.
Yeah, because what happens when
it can succeed, but eventually it's just not gonna last. Is what I mean.
Right, it could fail still, because you never know. Like, you could have these, you know, this start where like it starts going up and up and up, and all of a sudden it starts to go down, and you're not happy anymore, because your business is just, you're liking your business only if it's making sales.
It's not like a challenge. It's just like pure like fuck. Like you fucking hate it.
Yeah.
It's not a challenge. Like if you're doing something you love, and everything starts to go down, you're like, okay, well, I'll switch it up. I'll change things up.
Right. But
if you love it. But
right.
if you don't, you're just gonna fucking be depressed. Honestly.
And yeah. And the thing is, like, when you're doing a business just because you think it's gonna make money, and like I tell you, at first it starts making money, but then it goes down, and then you don't like it anymore. But that's because the only reason you're in this business is because you thought it was gonna make you money. Mm-hmm. So when it's no longer making as much money as you had hoped, then your excitement for that business starts to go down, and then you no longer want to put as much time into it. You no longer want to invest, you know, put more money to, whether it is make ads or promote or whatever it is that you're trying to do for the business. You no longer want to do it as much anymore, because you're like, well, it's going down. Whoa, it's like, instead of thinking, okay, what do I need to do to make this work? Because I love it, I don't want it to go away. You're like, fuck, this is not going the way I thought. I don't know if I should keep doing it anymore. You know, that like the switch in thinking. I feel like it's big to when you're gonna do something big like that, it has to be something that you at least enjoy.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm really happy. I'm really happy to see you excited, to see you like actually enjoying the process of all this. And I'm happy. I'm like, I can't wait to see what the future, you know, has for us.
Yep.
So, yeah. I think this is a good time to end the video. But I don't know how you feel. Hopefully we can do more of this.
Sure. If I don't bore them to death.
I don't think so. But
yeah,
like
sure.
I tell you as we go, and I feel like maybe on this video I talked a little more. And to my audience, I do apologize about that. But like, you are new to making videos for something that's gonna be out there for people to see. So I really appreciate the fact that you came, you made the video. We agreed that we were gonna do it today, and we're doing it today.
Got out my comfort zone for you.
Got out your comfort zone, which is amazing, because it could also be something that, on top of, now you're helping me make videos, it can also help your store. So I really appreciate the fact that you just said, fuck it, let's do it, so thank you. High five for that. And I look forward to doing more of this.
Me too.
One last cheer. Thank you. Now cheers to actually not backing out of making this video. And that'll be it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and if you did enjoy it, you should probably subscribe and also hit that bell to make sure you get notified whenever we upload another video. And one more thing before you go, follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and Snapchat. Links are on the description below. See you guys on the next one.